Well, I've tried and I've now run out of time. The weather in the North Pennines lately has been awful. It's been misty, horrible, yuck. I am now, shall we say, 6 days away. This is the only time I'm out. Basically, last week I had influenza, I've been ill. And today I was hoping to do Goldsborough and Shacklesborough, and as you can tell, wouldn't have been able to see a single thing. I mean, I can't even barely see my car, and it's down there. So, what am I doing? This is going to be a YouTube short. My shortest video ever. Never mind. Win some, you lose some. And I keep pointing at this rock. And you're probably thinking, what's the significance of this rock? It's just a rock. Because there's not just one of them, there's a number of them. And they're in a circle. Yep. A prehistoric stone circle. Here in the North Pennines. Now granted, it's not as grand as Stonehenge or as big as Castlereagh, any of those, but it is here. A small prehistoric stone circle.
It is strange to think that people have tried to live and worship in this area for thousands of years, despite the inhospitable conditions at times, here in the North Pennines.
And as the weather slowly gets worse, the wind's picking up now, it's starting to get decidedly chilly, and the mist hasn't lifted. That's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed this short. Whether you have enjoyed the stone circle, do not forget, with weather like this, this is definitely the North Pennines. Isn't it surprising the difference a couple of days can make? What you just watched, that was on Wednesday, and today is Saturday, and it's totally different. Never mind, we shall continue. Now then, what was I doing? Oh yes, today I'm at Baldersdale Reservoir, and this video I'm going to visit the Boros.
Baldersdale Reservoir, the largest of 3 reservoirs on the River Balder, and the only one that I haven't visited up until today. As I leave the reservoir behind, heading towards Blackton Reservoir, which I have already visited in a previous video. With the weather looking glorious, I cannot wait to see what today will bring. As I head towards Blackton Reservoir in a familiar ground.
Simply gorgeous. Now then, this may look familiar, obviously, because behind me there is the start of Blackton Reservoir, which I've covered in a previous video. But I'm not heading along there. I'm heading up here, the Pennine Way.
I have yet to cover this part of the Pennine Way in a video, but today that is to change. As I leave Blackton Reservoir behind, heading up towards Clove Lodge, I am excited to see what today will bring and what views I can expect.
Still climbing.
As more altitude is gained and the views more expansive, I am excited to see what more this hike can fetch. As I ascend Berners Hill, the views are truly magnificent, and I am excited to see what the future will fetch on today's hike.
So, where am I heading today? Well, you probably heard earlier on, and I said I was heading for the Boros. Now then, before you say anything, no, I'm not heading for Middlesbrough and a world famous palm or anything like that. I am out in the North Pennines. So today, I'm heading towards two summits, neither of them mountains, but both worthy of, shall we say, a closer look. Starting with this one here. Goldsborough. It's looking interesting already.
The unusual shape of Goldsborough I find intriguing, and I cannot wait to explore it further.
And welcome to the summit of Goldsborough.
Although being flat, which is normal for the Pennines, it is actually quite rocky, and the views around of Baldersdale are magnificent, truly spectacular. With the views from the top of Stone Moor being absolutely fantastic.
We now leave Goldsborough and head for the next borough, Shacklesborough. Let's go.
With the rocky crags towering over me, it's time for me to leave Goldsborough behind and head across Stone Moor. The wilderness is fantastic, totally alone. Reaching such places as Duck Syke. Yep, that's its name.
And welcome to West Hare Crag. And with West Hare Crag in the background, it's now time to follow the fence.
The terrain doesn't look too bad from a distance, but once you actually start to cross it, then you realise appearances can be deceiving. True North Pennines blanket bog, which must be crossed to allow me to continue to my destination. And it runs for miles.
And here I am, back at the Pennine Way. But I don't follow it keep following the fence.
As I continue along the fence, which by the way runs for 4.5 miles in a straight line, the views across Baldersdale and to the Yorkshire Dales are quite magnificent. But onwards I travel, in a straight line, continuing along the fence.
And finally, time to leave the fence. And finally, break time. Now as I sit here, finishing off my coffee before I start the shorter journey back via Shacklesborough, a small announcement. When I started this channel a year and a half ago, just over, I knew it would be niche. I knew that the North Pennines is not massively advertised, well visited, well known even, and that it would be a bit of a struggle. Plus my style, it's very different to the usual vlog. It's very soundtrack heavy, very different to the normal just holding a selfie stick and that's it. So I knew it would be a bit of a battle, but here I am, just over a year and a half later, still going. And by the time this video goes out, will have been viewed over 12,500 times. The North Pennines and the East Down Coast. So, to all my viewers, to all my subscribers, both regular and new, thank you. It means a lot.
And with the coffee over, it's time to head off and start my journey again to Cral or Currick.
And now my final summit, Shacklesborough.
The distance to Shacklesborough doesn't look that far, but like everything else in the North Pennines, appearances can be deceiving. But onwards I travel. Slowly making my way towards Marmon Syke. The scenery around me looking as gorgeous as ever.
And here we are, the final summit of the day, Shacklesborough.
Although Shacklesborough, at 454 metres, is not classified as a mountain, the views from the top are still absolutely stunning. as I leave the summit of Shacklesborough, after enjoying the views from the top, I know that it's a short walk back to the car, past places like High Round, an old sheepfold, and then a little bit further on, back to the shores of Baldersdale Reservoir. However, it's not all plain sailing, for on the way back, I have to detour and find a little hidden gem, a waterfall, 18 feet high, stunning, and then just a short walk back to the car park and my starting point.
And that's another hike over. Really glad I came out today. It's such a difference compared to 3 days ago. Totally different. Really enjoyed this one. Glad I came out. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. Whether you have enjoyed the scenery, the views, or even just the journey. Do not forget, everything you've watched, everything you've seen, this is nature.